It's never gonna come.
That's the Magnum PI intro song. That's my favorite intro song.
So our intro song's not even your favorite intro song?
It can't be. The Magnum PI intro song reminds me of Magnum PI.
Shouldn't this remind you of us?
Yeah, but this is us. I know that. But Magnum PI, fucking, he's the man.
You can't make me feel better about it by just keep saying Magnum PI.
Yeah, Magnum PI. Thomas Magnum?
Actually, I feel great. Let's get started.
See, perfect. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, hello.
You are in the right spot. This is Behind the Boots. This is the podcast. This is Bobby. This is John.
Yeah, I'm John.
I'm Bobby.
Yep.
And we're here.
We're here.
It's episode 27. Can you fucking believe it? 26
I can believe it.
other episodes chock full of vitamins and not that. Oh. And that spews out of our mouths.
Yep.
But you laugh and you love it because you keep coming back because you're listening to episode 27.
Sure.
But I got to get serious for a second.
Okay.
We need your help out there in Bootyland.
He's not looking at me. Well, he is right now.
Well, I am now. But I was saying I need your help.
Yes.
And I need your help because we need you to do a couple things.
Okay. What are they?
First thing we need you to do, is share us. Behind the Boots.
Physically.
Tell all your friends.
Share us physically.
Yeah. No one know.
Pretty tight schedule, but I can probably fit you in.
Work you in next Tuesday. But what I need you to do is share us. Tell your friends about us if you like it. You know what? If you don't like it, still tell your friends about it and let them make up their own decisions.
Yeah, tell your friends and then go fuck yourself.
Tell all 10,000 of your friends. But you need to like us, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But you can find us at BT Boots Podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Right? You can just type in Behind the Boots Podcast on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also follow us on YouTube. Where can they follow us?
On YouTube? Wilco Media.
Which is our big-time production company that we work for. Right? We're working for them. But you can follow us on Wilco. You can follow us on Wilco Media. Mm-hmm. You can like, subscribe, share, do it all. Leave a comment. Let us know you're listening. We need your help, though. And we can only do this for about 3,000 more times without that help.
I'm running out of material. I only have about 4,700 more to go.
Yeah.
We still have stickers.
We do.
So if you want to spread us the old-fashioned way and vandalize some shit.
Yeah. Listen, I've personally vandalized all of New York City. So if you're down in the Big Apple and you see those Behind the Boots stickers, take a picture.
Yeah. And if you send us your address, there's a 5% chance Bobby will show up naked.
Probably more like 5.5.
Oh, feeling generous today.
I can work it in.
Generous today.
Yeah, work it in. There's a 100% chance I'll be arrested for showing up 5.5% naked.
Yeah, whatever.
But listen, since you have been following us for 26 episodes, you know what we're about, so we're not going to get into that. But we are going to get into is what we're drinking today. It's called Truepenny.
It is.
Yep, Truepenny. And it's from Allagash, and it's a Pilsner. And
it's also from Maine.
It's with love.
With love.
That's what it says right on the can. We chose this because our producer, Big Dick Nick, who we can't do this without, said he liked the color combination of this can from the ones we hadn't chosen.
That's true.
To show. So that's why we drank this one today. It's good. It's a Dusty Dogs approved for like the 10th.
Don't we run all alcohol choices through Dusty?
Through Dusty Dogs, yeah. But this would be, I mean, this is probably like a 10th whole drink as he's eating a hot dog, waiting for the group ahead of him to tee off so he can jump on the back nine.
Exactly.
But I think he would approve of it. So
I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
I strive to live up to his expectations.
I do too. They're not real high. But
no.
You have to kind of slide.
Yeah, minimum effort.
Real minimum effort. Yeah. But
that's what I'm all about, guys.
Yeah. And you can find Dusty Dogs back on episode 25.
25, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. So if you haven't listened to that one, go back, listen to that, come back over here.
He was a sailor.
He was a sailor. Yep. Sailor. You old salty sailor, him. So, do you want to get right into this?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Very much.
So, boot camp battles, right? I'm going to read a story. It's a little bit longer of a story. But the reason I chose this one is because it's an underappreciated service on our podcast.
Go on.
And by that, I mean...
Is this a rogue private story?
No. by that, I mean...
Because, let me be honest, those services are always appreciated. It's never underappreciated.
Yes. So there's not a little bit about that, but there's some stuff in here that you're like, God damn it. Why? First of all, this was written from an individual who went to basic training for the United States Air Force back in 1974. So there's some things in it that you're like... That wasn't
just like a certificate program?
No, actually, it was probably a little harder back then than it is now. Yeah. So, I mean, it feels like there's some things in here you're like, fuck, they could actually do that back then. And some people are going to think, wow, the Air Force can do that? Like, still? Like,
probably not.
You can't. Okay.
There's a good chance.
They really can't. Really can't. But, and I say that it's an underappreciated service because we've taken some jabs at the Air Force, but you're going to really see their humor.
It's so easy.
You're going to see their humor in this and how they treat each other. So it's pretty good.
Let's get into it.
All right. So, although it seems funny in retrospect, it wasn't very funny at the time. Way back in 1974, I was in Air Force basic training at Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas. Now,
beautiful area.
The one thing to know about the Air Force is they only run basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio.
Yep.
Where the Army has a few spots, Marine Corps has 2. I think the Navy only has 1 now, too. They used to have 2, but they have 1.
I think it's 1 now.
Yeah, it's in like Michigan or something, or Illinois, like Chicago or Great Lakes.
Just right in the city.
Yeah. It's on
I think it's Great Lakes, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Great Lakes.
I have no idea. I'm talking out of my ass.
Yeah. Dusty Dogs, when you're listening, tell us where the Navy base training is. He probably didn't even go to one. He just showed up on a boat one day. Got in line.
He was never actually in at all.
He got in line. He's like, there's a line. And I jumped on and, hey, cool.
And 4 years later, I'm back.
Yeah, I was like, wow. All right, I'm off, guys. See you later. Like, who was that? I don't know. So my career started nicely enough. Back then, Brant Airlines was still in existence. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Brant?
Yeah, Brant. Braniff. Was still in existence. I was part of a group of 15 recruits making the trip from Richmond, Virginia to San Antonio. After we took off, the flight attendants announced to the plane that we were on our way to basic training. Ugh. And most, I believe...
Did they not know?
Yeah, I know.
Just in case you were wondering.
You guys are on the way to basic training. And most, I believe, of the passengers cheered us. Then the flight attendants gathered us and took us to the first class for the rest of the flight. That was nice. But wait a minute. 15 of them. How many fucking first class seats were there? And
they must.
Anyway, okay.
Maybe that's why they're out of business. All first class seats were still available.
Exactly. That was nice. I'm a teetotaler, but the rest of the guys all called for free drinks right away. They were limited to 2 alcoholic drinks apiece, which disappointed them. I'm sure that enough people have written about basic training for the different armed services. That I can tell you that everything happened according to plan. Head shaved, new, ill-fitting uniforms, threats from the training instructors, TIs, which is what they call drill sergeants in the Air Force.
Training instructors.
Training instructors. Yep, not drill sergeants.
It sounds more prestigious.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm training instructor.
Air Force as a whole is the more technical branch, and that's the technical term.
Yeah, it's like a technical term. Yeah. Literally, there's a rank in the Air Force called technical sergeants.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like that they're super technical. Not to miss writing our mothers, we had 2 TIs who were insistent that they better not get a word from any congressman that our mommies had not heard from us. So we all had to write home. Since the nature of the Air Force is different from the ground forces, our basic training was not anywhere as bad as I've heard other experiences from the Army Marines. As I mentioned above, we had 2 TIs. I remember Tech Sergeant Garza very well, even after this long. His assistant, I can't even remember his name.
Wait, hold on. He had an assistant?
Usually they
just an executive assistant? Yeah. Carry around his clipboard and shit for him?
Well, it is the Air Force. But I think what he was referring to is like this guy was the senior drill sergeant, and there was another.
I figured that's what he meant. Just to call him an assistant.
The senior technical training instructor. Okay, so they had an office and a sleeping room off from our bays. So basically, they had to take turns. They had an office and sleeping rooms off from our base, which is where they spent a lot of their time when they were not teaching us or drilling us or making us clean the barracks. One day, we had number 2 with us, the executive assistant.
Oh.
Okay, just so you're
I thought you were talking about a shit.
Yeah, you're tracking with me. I would like to remind you that since we had joined, we had been very indoctrinated that the concept, with the concept of obey orders. I don't know why I can't read today.
No, it's not just today.
Well, okay. I feel like John over here. Also, we. Am I right?
That's fair.
Also, we had been screamed at, push-upped like nobody's business, and generally browbeat for not obeying anything that we were instructed. I remembered clearly being slammed against the wall because my bed was out of line. Okay, so that's one of the things that they definitely don't do in the Air Force anymore. They don't slam you against the wall.
No.
Yeah. They'll
probably write you a strongly worded letter.
And they have somebody make your bed for you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Listen, we did it this time, but next time, I swear.
This letter will be a little more stern. While that kind of thing isn't supposed to happen, and probably doesn't anymore, it reflects the mentality that recruits are indoctrinated with. I remember our, I think, 3rd night there, one of the recruits was made to sleep on the shower floor because he hadn't done a good job cleaning the shower. He's just going to get it dirty by sleeping on it. Like, I don't. The next day, he was sent to sick call because his back was wrecked and he was discharged.
What the fuck? So they made him sleep in the shower?
Yeah.
And it wrecked his back so much that he had to get discharged?
Now he gets 100% disability from the VA.
That's such a fucking lie. That's such a fucking lie. Isn't back pain the one thing like you can't really prove if they have or not?
Allegedly.
That's how Bobby gets all his narcotics. His alleged back pain.
You get prescription cocaine? I'm just kidding. But back to the good stuff. He actually wrote that. We were in formation outside. Our barracks was on the 3rd floor of the building, accessible by stairs from a concrete pad on the ground floor. On this pad, we stood in formation and waited for other things to happen. From here, we went to classes, chow, and other training. Very, very typical of basic training down on the quad, like down on the pad or whatever your individual called it.
Yep.
We slept above. It was like underneath, so you could be there from the rain.
Yeah, like the quad you said, and then the barracks were up the stairs above.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
So you could form it up under, so you would be dry while they're yelling at you, then you had to march off.
Yeah, exactly. And get wet.
So they could put their jackets on. And then you could,
Yep.
Okay, so TI number 2, okay, so the executive assistant, had us at attention and then gave us very clear instructions. We were going to pull a joke, in quotations, on Tech Sergeant Garza.
This is totally Tech Sergeant Garza's idea.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
You can understand later.
It smells like a trap. That's
all. It is a trap.
Okay.
But it is a trap. Later that day, Tech Sergeant Garza would be back. We would be on the pad in formation, but not at attention. The usual method to put us at attention was to issue the command in 2 parts. The first was the attention word, which...
It's called preparatory command.
It's true.
Jackass.
I know, but he's writing this. It's in the attention word, which the group we were in, the word was flight. So the preparatory command of flight, or what you're directing your,
Okay.
So that's what they call a platoon.
They call them a flight.
A flight.
Yep.
Okay. This is the Air Force, get it?
I get it, because they fly. Yeah. That's like...
Fly, fight, win.
In the air, yeah. They're a force
in the ground, the air, and cyberspace.
No, I did.
Air, space, cyberspace.
I'm tracking.
Something like that. I don't know. So
the
long
reference.
ago. So the word flight. Then after a pause, the action of command was given. For example, the word ten hut, which I don't like, meaning attention.
You can totally tell this guy's Air Force.
I know.
Just the way he's breaking down.
Yeah. And then you put the shoelace left over right, and then put it through the eyelet, and then you put it left over right again. So basically, he's telling us, the preparatory command of flight, attention. And I hate the word ten hut because it's not. Ugh.
What is it? It's not even...
It's not a word.
No, it's
like
not.
10 hut? No, it's attention.
I see 10 huts.
Yeah. 10 huts? Yeah. A tent peg?
That's another Hollywood thing. There's a lot of assholes.
I know. Yeah.
How many people Just like a sidebar here. How many people did you go through basic or like young enlisted with, and people said a tent hut when they put like a private in charge of the platoon?
Because they thought it was the word.
That's all they knew because of Hollywood. So fucking cut it out.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not anymore. I don't care. Do what you want.
Do what you want. Yeah, actually, you know what? Say that. Go ahead and say that. Or they would draw out the word attention too long, like it's its own preparatory command.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a preparatory command for the preparatory command, like squad. Attention? Like a question?
You're just like, okay.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, so.
Anywho.
Our response upon hearing the word flight was to be ready. Then we heard the word attention, or tent hut. We were snapped to attention, quiet, facing forward, arms on our sides, in the position of attention. All right? So, it got interesting now. I hope so.
Fucking hope so, dude. Oh, man.
Because TI number 2 told us that when Tech Sergeant Garza called flight, we would immediately answer loudly with, what? See where it's going here?
All right.
Little Air Force humor, right? All right, so, yeah, I didn't believe it either. We were looking around at each other. This sounded much like treason to us. It went against everything we know. But he repeated it. He told us that when Tech Sergeant Garza called flight, we would yell what? Every time Tech Sergeant Garza said flight, we were to say what? Then, if Tech Sergeant Garza called us to attention, we were to say okie dokie Sarge and come to attention.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, number 2 told us if we did not follow orders, he would make our lives miserable for the rest of the time there. So this is the classic catch-22.
Yeah.
So do you fuck over one drill sergeant or do you fuck over the other?
Well, it depends. Okay. He's calling this guy number 2, so I don't think I'd take orders from a shoot.
Yeah, but remember, they split their time with them. So he's going to spend they're going to spend half the time with this guy.
They fucked either way.
That's like when mom leaves the kids home alone with dad.
This is why I think that's Tech Sergeant Garza's in on it.
Okay.
Because
I don't think so, because it gets, okay, so you're going to roll here, right?
All right.
So he just says, we were fools. We followed his orders. And he says, dang it. Later that afternoon, after chow call, Tech Sergeant Garza was with us on the pad. We had eaten, and when we came out, their shift had changed. We were a little nervous, but at least I believed we were demonstrating what we could follow orders from his superior.
Okay.
Foolish.
Yes, yeah.
Tech Sergeant Garza called flight. We said what? He stared at us. He called flight again. Again, we said what? He looked around, I believe to make sure no one else was seeing this, then glared at us, and his most command voice yet yelled, all capitals, flight! We were really into it by now, so we, in our most yelling voices, yelled, what? Tech Sergeant Garza then said, Tenchun. There's no way that I can use the little 26 letters on my keyboard to find the words that accurately describe how red his face was or how angry he was when he said the words attention. We, not realizing his anger, screamed back, okie dokie Sarge.
So stupid. It's so dumb.
Even though
such an Air Force
fucking prank, I know, dude. Even though it didn't matter then, and it doesn't really matter now, our snap to attention was worth recording for posterity. I know the pop of our heels coming together didn't really make it sound like a gunshot, but it seemed so at the time. Best one ever. Too bad it didn't matter. We found out after basic was done that Tech Sergeant Garza and number 2 really didn't like each other, and they did stuff like that to just get at each other each time.
I stand corrected.
We didn't know at the time. After we were at attention, Tech Sergeant Garza asked us what the hell we thought we were doing. We kind of realized that the joke hadn't gone over well, but being good airmen, we told him exactly what was going on. I supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be a joke, really. His reply was, oh, you fucking like jokes, huh? We were all silent, not knowing what to reply. Tech Sergeant Garza again, well, do you like fucking jokes? We said, sir, yes, sir. So Tech Sergeant Garza then decided to play a joke on us. Get upstairs. We ran like crazy. Once we were back in the barracks, Tech Sergeant Garza asked us if we really enjoyed our little joke. None of us were bold enough to suggest to him that our joke, it wasn't our joke, but it was TI number 2's joke. Then Tech Sergeant Garza yelled, "Fire, fire, fire," a fire drill. We were forced to leave the barracks and run down to the pad to get back in formation. Once down there, Tech Sergeant Garza said, "Back upstairs, run." We ran back upstairs. Then he kept repeating the fire, fire, fire drill for the next hour. What I learned, it's a fond memory, now kind of funny, but it wasn't at the time. So he goes into saying that in the league of their own, there's no crying in baseball. Same thing. Yeah, there's no joking in basic. you don't do jokes. But no. I wanted to read that one
jokes amongst yourselves.
Because it is so very typical, like, of what you think of the Air Force.
Yeah.
And they're like,
okay, and then we're just going to say okie dokie. That'll show him.
It's fucking hilarious.
That'll really get the fire under his bonnet.
But also, like, that they didn't like each other, like, that
makes it better.
That is a brilliant move by number 2.
He's never going to be there when they do it.
Meh, whatever. Have fun. If the idiots are smart enough to think about this. Because I bet you the other tech sergeant never told him that they did it.
Oh, probably.
Because he knew that he was getting fucked with by the other guy. So he's like, fine, I won't give him the satisfaction. Mm-hmm. And they just kept doing that shit back and forth through each other, which is pretty fucking funny.
And then you get the recruits in the middle of it all.
I know, just like
who are like the kids in a bad divorce.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
Exactly,
again. Yeah. But it was funny because this was a boot camp battle, but it was boot camp. It was battles between
battles.
Wow. Between drill sergeants.
Wow. For those listening,
I
just exploded my head. I like that one. He definitely an Air Force story.
Yeah, the first half of it, just to explain what was going to happen for the rest of it. Oh, my God.
Let's just get right into Rogue Privates.
Fucking rights.
Hey!
Cool, man. So I got one foreign Rogue Private and then two little strip club stories.
Foreign privates?
I know how much you love the strip clubs.
Used to.
That's not
Used to.
Because it's not a good selection up here.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Apparently there was one in Billerica. It's closed down now, I guess.
I know. Conspiracy, I think. People just don't like to have fun anymore.
Right? Am I right?
All right. First story. I did military service in the Norwegian Army.
That would be a good segment though, is like strip camp or strip club stories from outside bases.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
There's millions of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, write that down. So I did military service in the Norwegian Army. While 1 year service is obligatory for men.
Does he know Criffy?
Probably he knows Criffy from Hoofton. It's voluntary for girls. So, in the Army, the girls are either A, butch and masculine, or B, wanting the D. His words.
The most C, column, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B?
I think C is wanting the V.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. The most noteworthy thing I did during my year was having sex in a trench during an exercise. He's a real go-getter. I heard a story, however, from another camp, and while this might be a walking story being told in every country, it's still funny. 2 guys from the same troop gets really drunk in a bar.
Was one of them Jason?
No, Jason's a good guy.
Okay. No, Jason was a good guy.
Jason's the bad guy.
Jason was a good guy. The other guy was not an asshole.
That's true. But he was. So these 2 guys get drunk in a bar, meet a girl from another company. They go back to the camp and gets caught having sex in the showers of the 2 guys' barracks. The officer does not recognize or / doesn't care about the girl since she wasn't part of the same troop, so she leaves. The following morning, the 2 guys get called out in front of the whole company.
That's just bullshit.
And the leading officer getting fined and reprimanded for having sex in the showers. Only them. No girl was mentioned.
That's...
Could you think
That's pretty funny. I was about to say this is bullshit, double standard. She doesn't get in trouble, but then now I like it.
Now
I
you
like
get
it.
it.
I like it.
I get it.
It's pretty fucking funny. I bet their faces immediately were like,
But no, I swear to God, that was a girl.
right. Mm-hmm.
Sure, man, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. We've all been there, right?
No. Nope, can't say him.
Okay.
But maybe. Story number 2.
First of all, but they had sex in the shower with their backs out. Were they discharged? Were their backs so wrecked from sleeping in the shower?
There was no sleeping.
Oh, okay.
So they were fine.
Okay.
I mean, and they probably the shower's on, I'm assuming, which the steam relaxes the muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a doctor, so. So this was while I was at Fort Gordon AIT.
Ooh. That's Georgia.
Yep.
Right?
So no shit, there we were at a titty bar on Broad Street in downtown Augusta. We should look that up. And we were hammered, as was the style at the time for privates.
As is tradition.
Well, it's time to go since we had a 2200 curfew, which is fucking stupid, due to all the rapists on Gordon. Could you imagine that's in the safety brief? Guys, remember,
A couple rapists on the loose.
2200 curfew. There's just so much rape.
Yeah, it's like, listen,
so
Jack the Ripper's
much
out there. He's been looking for victims, so we should be back here by 2200.
That's probably a good way to keep people inside.
Because of the rapes.
Exactly. So we had a 2200 curfew, and our cab was waiting for us outside. Well, I guess one of the guys I was with really wanted to tip the stripper on stage one last time, but he's out of bills. So what does he do? On our way out, this drunk bastard reaches into his pocket
Handful of quarters.
and into what I assume was his coin purse, grabs a handful of coins, and just whips what must have been like $3 in change at the stripper.
Generous.
Then just keeps walking, like making it rain coins on strippers is somehow not a big deal. Well before anyone can say shit, I'm shoving this fuck face out the door and into the cab, and we tell the driver to cheese it before the 4 of us get our asses beat. Fucking privates. I'll admit, though, the racket of those coins when they hit the stage and pole almost knocked the stripper off said pole. It was goddamn hilarious.
It's pretty funny, though.
You gotta know, you're dealing with privates. They don't make a lot of money. You can't make it rain.
Yeah.
You can only make it drizzle.
I know. Make it hail.
Make it
That's good, though.
Someone commented, in our defense, we were not specifically told to not throw change at strippers during the safety brief.
It's true. It's true. You can't fault them.
14 years in, every safety brief I've ever heard, never was told not to throw change at the strippers.
Correct. I was told in a safety brief by one of my old platoon sergeants that there is, in fact, no sex in the champagne room, so save your
real?
money. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just a song.
Yeah. That he would say it. No sex in the champagne room, save your money. So, learned it. Never did not hear. But see, to be fair, you in the strip clubs in Europe, you had to turn your money in for. You could still give dollars, but they had like fake dollars.
They just gave them like
paper dollars, like chits. Like, here you go. Here's your.
So what? They turn those in at the end of the night for money?
I'm assuming, or they were probably Eastern Europeans who weren't ever given any money.
Oh.
Which is why I can not condone going to those, or condone going to those, whatever it means. Don't do it. You said you had 2 strip club stories?
No, one more.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Would you like to hear it?
Why not? I mean, we're here.
Okay. That's for everyone. We still got some time to
I
go.
got all dressed up. I might as well.
Back when I was a lowly PFC, I hung out with some bros from first group at Fort Lewis. I knew someone attached to them, so by proxy, I hung out with this unit over my own. Well, my boy and his friends were getting deployed, and they wanted to spend some time and money on some strippers. Oh, it was a solid idea. I was like, cool, and we headed to some strip club in Tacoma. Well, it was amateur night that night, and some girl who didn't belong in the first 5 minutes of a Weight Watchers commercial was on the stage dancing.
a good way to.
It definitely put a picture
She
in
was
my head.
too skinny.
She was, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. This girl had no rhythm or moves, and she slipped down the pole. Well, my boys had had enough, and they were drunk, so they pulled out some rolls of quarters and threw them at the girl. He pulled out rolls of quarters, separated them.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because that's $10.
He threw. That's good. First of all, good payday.
Yeah.
That's good tip.
Yeah.
That's a rough way to dish it out.
Hopefully she's wearing riot gear because like you catch a fucking quarter off the head, a roll of quarters, you're splitting fucking skin right there, buddy. I'll tell you right now, firsthand.
I just remember the sound thwack hitting her back as the rolls exploded on her.
He did throw the whole roll. See,
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I thought you said he separated them.
Oh
first.
no, he did not.
Oh, did not. Okay.
No. So the lights came on and the DJ's record skipped and stopped playing. Some bouncers came over. First of all, who the fuck's carrying around rolls of quarters?
These brilliant individuals. Also, do
Never know when I'm going to need to throw these $10.
I know, but do you ever think it was like I always get a kick out of the DJs at strip clubs who all have the same voice, and they're like, "Please welcome Candy to the stage. Give it up for Candy."
It's all the same guy.
It is. It's the same guy. I think you have to have that. Like that's like.
So some bouncers came over and escorted us out. As we were walking out, I remember looking back to the stage and the stripper crying, all while picking up the quarters off the stage.
That was a great song too.
Later that night, we
Did
were
you ever
at
hear that song?
Let me.
Okay.
I got one more sentence.
Sorry, in my head.
Later that night, we were at a gas station filling up the truck we rode in, and the stripper was there paying for her gas with quarters.
They should have paid for it for her.
They did.
Yeah.
He threw the quarters at her.
It's true. Did you ever hear that Bloodhound Gang song?
I have.
The lap dances are always better when the stripper's crying.
No, I know one song from them.
Once you get down the rabbit hole of Bloodhound Gang songs, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
You should. But, yeah. That was, oh, man.
That's it, man. Turns out you can tip with change, just not all at once.
Not encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, $10. That's a lot.
$10 is a good tip.
Yeah. It's a lot.
For someone who's, what was it? Fucking amateur night? That's not
That's in Tacoma, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it paid for her to get home? Mm-hmm. That's a win.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I've never been, obviously, to a strip club in my life, okay? I've definitely never been to, I've never seen, like, the female alternate reality version of a strip club, like where they go to a strip club, like a Chippendales or like a
male strip club.
Yeah, like a Thunder Down Under.
Yeah, that's
like,
what they call a male strip club.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's alternate reality.
I love how you're trying so hard to act like you don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to know.
Be comfortable with your.
All right, listen. There's
sexuality,
names. There's names like Chippendales. There's like what is the Thunder Down Under? I always see the signs in Vegas. Remember that shit. But listen back there. But do you like? I always see on fucking movies when the chicks go to these things, they're fucking ridiculous. Like the bachelorette parties that go to the fucking male strip clubs, they're like assholes. Like the Magic Mike shit.
Yeah.
Like, are they really like that? Is there fucking some chick version throwing a roll of quarters?
I'll let you know.
Okay. Has the DJ? Please welcome Mike to the stage.
My bar back.
Can you get you another Coke? But are
some more Coke?
Are they hucking fucking rolls of quarters as well? Like, I mean, because you got to think like a girl going to a strip club. Sorry, a lady going to a strip club has a purse that can fucking carry a lot of shit in it.
Can't carry a lot of shit.
Whipping some fucking rolls of quarters.
I honestly wouldn't mind it.
No,
because I feel like
it makes you better. You can dodge a roll of quarters. You can dodge a wrench.
They're drunk.
Like
their aim's off. I feel like if they're aiming at you, that's probably the safest place to be.
On stage?
On stage.
Yeah.
Because
you
go right by.
I want you to report back. It's a behind the boots exclusive.
Okay.
Report back to that. Yeah. But I'm
gonna need a
if any listen, if any of our booties are out there that are females that have been to, male strip clubs, as my co-host calls them.
But that's what everyone calls them. That's not
allegedly.
That's a thing.
So, do you throw rolls of quarters? Yes or no? Okay, thank you. Please get back to us on that one.
You know who you are.
Allegedly, you know.
You fucking know who you are.
You know who we're talking about. Well, that's good. Strip. I feel like that's maybe our first, which is hard to believe, after
26 episodes.
26 episodes, that we haven't had real stripper stories yet.
I know.
Crazy.
The two that I stumbled upon for this episode, they're both about how not to tip.
I mean, we did have just the tip. We did hear from Will the Thrill, and what he claimed was a strip club that
But
never.
he wasn't sure.
He wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because he was drugged.
He was definitely drugged.
That was maybe we broke the surface of the water with strip clubs with that one, which is fine. But yeah, but now it's a full on fucking tsunami.
It's a full on rager.
Yep. But as long as you're back by 2200, because that's when rapes happen. So.
The rapes don't happen unless it's after 2200. That's statistically a fact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Olivia Benson says that all the time.
Anyways.
You don't know who Olivia Benson is.
So we're moving on.
Yeah, we are?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Oh, okay. We're moving on from rogue privates to buddy fuckers.
Hey, good buddy.
Ooh.
Now, we're going to wait for a second because I need to explain this. Okay. This is a long story, but it's good. Now, this one will catch you from the moment we start rolling. This is written by a Marine. Okay. Now, this Marine, I think, should probably write a book about the history of the Marine Corps, because this is one of the most intelligent Marines I've ever.
He's like average intelligence.
No. Okay. So the movie, the TV show, The Pacific.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Great show.
Great show. And it was based upon several books written by Marines that were there.
Okay.
This could be one of those guys that they could base something that he wrote on, because it explains it so well. And I was torn between, do I throw this under Barracks Life? Do I throw this under Rogue Privates? Do I throw this under Buddy Fuckers? But
it's got all of it, huh?
It does.
Oh.
And I think I threw it under Buddy Fuckers because it's build up, but one guy fucks up and it ruins the whole rest of it for everyone else.
Oh no, that's never good.
Yeah. So I think that's why I felt like I was drawn towards Buddy Fuckers.
I'm excited.
Okay. And this is a fairly recent one. And if you're listening, I'm not going to say your full name, but you're out there on the internet. If you knew you wrote this story, you wrote this story. And he also has a picture to go along with it. Okay. So it just takes place, Camp Fuji 2013. A place I will never return to so long as I draw breath. Other than getting to eat awesome food and ski down a volcano, this place was a breaker of souls. We were headed to Hokkaido, Japan on a ship when the seas got a little too rough for it to stay out, so we steamed to Yokohama, Japan. I probably butchered that name. Yokohama.
Probably.
Yokohama. And Dusty Dogs, who was stationed there, will probably tell me I fucked it all up. After a few days there, we were sent to Camp Fuji, since we had no idea how long the vessel would be out of commission. It's a Marine Corps base, maybe an hour and a half train ride from Tokyo. And it's where we do most of our heavy weapons training, since Okinawa is pretty restrictive onto what they will let us do there. So we arrive at Camp Soon to be hell on earth, and we walk up to our barracks.
Weird name for a camp.
I know. You had to because he put the capitals.
Yeah.
He actually did it. So so we arrive at Camp Soon to be hell on earth. And we walk up to our barracks. Of course, since we're 3rd platoon, we have to live on the top floor for whatever reason. We get inside, and everyone is putting their gear away and planning trips to Tokyo to visit the Pokemon store or whatever. Then one of the Marines shouts, "Hey, come check this shit out." We're a pretty easy bunch to entertain, so we head over to his locker and see what's up. He's holding a small stick about a foot or so long, and in his hand is a note. Now, this is the moment, right? This guy that said that, come over here and look at this, becomes the buddy fucker.
Buddy fucker.
Okay. And I can only imagine, after what happens next, that like a dark cloud immediately appeared over the barracks, and like there was like
just a crash of lightning.
Yeah, just like evil demon laughter in the background. The note says, if you find the stick, return it to the old lady at the top of Mount Fuji.
Well, that sounds like a lot of work.
It does. Now, what's the first thing this jackass does? Yeah, that's right. He breaks the stick, laughs, and chucks the pieces back into his locker.
That's how every horror movie starts.
Right? A completely
Especially
natural...
Japan.
Yeah, a completely natural reaction when confronted with such an odd situation. After this, no one pays it any more mind. So this is what I'm saying. Like, as soon as that, he's like, yeah, fuck this. Snaps the stick, and like the cloud, you just hear like a demon laughing in the background. It's like, you just know it's going to be bad from here on out.
Not good.
Well, at Camp Fuji, we had an internet connection, and we would talk to people back home. I spent my time going to the PX and buying the highest alcohol content wine they had available and would head back to the barracks.
You can tell he's a fancy-ass
Marine. Right? He's the guy that joined the Marine Corps because it was ironic. Yeah. And he was like, I'm going to do this, get some experience.
He's talking to, like, his buddies in his AP class in high school. Hey, guys, wouldn't it be funny if I was a Marine?
Yeah. Hilarious, right? So my buddy, the one that broke the stick, gets on Facebook and finds out that his wife is cheating on him. This, of course...
I guess he's not the only one breaking sticks, if you know what I'm saying.
Or hiding them. You know, that's what I'm saying. This is, of course, grounds for all of us to get as drunk as possible. He proceeds to get so drunk down at the E Club, the enlisted club, for the lower enlisted, like the E4s and below, that he gets kicked out along with most of my platoon. On the 700-meter or so walk back up to the barracks, he stops.
Which isn't like that far.
No, it's really you can see it.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah,
it's like right there. You know, it's like what? That's probably like 6 football fields. Is a meter shorter than a yard? Like really?
I mean it's
roughly. Anyway, 6.5.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you're a fucking mathematician, don't come at me with your numbers, all right? I took a guess.
I'll be honest, we don't care.
I took a guess. Nope, don't care. So we walk back to the barracks where there are some artillerymen, or where some artillerymen have parked their cannons placed. He decides to ride one like Major Kong from Dr. Strangelove. Yeah, this guy's really educated. And is yelling, "Look, Ma, I'm firing the 50 cal." We're out there trying to convince this angry, blackout, drunk man that in fact is an M777 155 millimeter howitzer, but to no avail.
Yeah,
tick for tack. Yeah, 50 cal, 155. Yeah, whatever. Eventually, he gets down from the gun and starts running back towards the barracks, and we go to chase him down. We corner him outside the base headquarters building and are trying to get him to come back to the barracks with us and smoke some cigs and be done with the night. He takes the only option available to him. Jump through the base sergeant major's window right into his office.
Makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Luckily, the sergeant major is at the E Club. He's the one that kicked him out.
What's he doing at the E Club?
So we're kicking people out.
If I can't have fun, nobody can get the fuck out of here. I hate my life.
So we avoided the fiasco, but we have to get him out of the building somehow, and we cannot comprehend that he can just come back through the window that he entered.
What is he, a fly?
No, I'm stuck. I can't get out.
A house fly?
I can't get out. He insists that he must exit through a door.
No.
The doors are all locked from the inside, and no one of us is going in there. It starts pouring like a dam broke in the sky.
Were they locked from the inside?
I know. That's weird.
Because then why have a lock?
Exactly. And so it's the dam broke in the sky, and I'm not waterproof. I get fed up with this shit and decide that yours truly needs a drink. I get back to the barracks, and it's relatively calm. The 4 Latinos in our platoon are all watching Blood In, Blood Out. So together, so I join in and sip on my wine from the bottle. What can I say? I'm a classy broad. Then we decide to take a brief intermission to go smoke and go to the bathroom. I rip my cig and go take a piss and walk in on naked Marines doing PT in the showers, running alternatively hot and cold.
Wait. Say that again?
It is a tongue twister of a sentence.
Yep.
All right. This is one full sentence.
Yep.
Are you ready? I rip my cig
Yeah.
and go take a piss. Mm-hmm. And I walk in on naked Marines doing PT
Yep.
with the showers running alternatively hot and cold.
That one sentence, like, you can't have a more Barracks Life sentence than that. That's what it is.
You see how I was so confused about where to categorize
I understand
this
now.
story. All right, so get back to the naked Marines doing PT.
Oh, let's do it.
That was a little out of the ordinary, but I'm not there to judge.
Only a little bit.
I'm walking back to finish the movie, and the majority of the platoon has shown up back except for the stick breaker. One of
I'm sorry. I just love how that's not even part of the
no,
story.
that's just like out there. It's like it's a little filler,
Completely
That's what I'm
different.
telling you. This guy's a great storyteller, right? Other than being a pretentious asshole, living his life in the Marines just to get by, just to make it until he makes it in Hollywood.
Holy shit.
I love it though. Okay, so everyone shows back up except for the stick breaker. One of the Marines had apparently been trying to call his father through an ATM, so they got him out of there. But this,
If you guys don't know, listening or watching, ATMs that don't have phones.
no. But this devil dog is not your typical drinker. He is an angry, fighting drunk. He starts saying the most incoherent shit. All I wanted to do was drink my cheap, high alcohol wine and go to sleep. Instead, I end up as the only sober person present and having to break up a fight between daddy issues and literally the entire platoon. I got punched in the face several times by Lord knows who. Some people probably took it like, fuck yeah, I can finally hit this guy.
I've been waiting to punch this nerd forever.
By Lord knows who, and I got everyone to spread out and stand in a circle so these children can't hurt each other. And that's when the power went out.
Jesus, it just keeps going.
I know. The lights were off for about 12 seconds, and then when they turned back on, it looked like a Quentin Tarantino had directed a movie in there. There was blood everywhere. The racks were overturned, mattresses flung across the barracks, dudes are on top of each other trying to strangle one another.
Right. Oh, never mind.
It's not in the bathroom. Those guys were doing PT still.
They're still doing their PT.
Trying to strangle one another. It's a horror show in there right now. At this point, I give up. I take one bottle of wine and go to the bathroom. Whatever. There's a low Marine in there, a good friend of mine. He's taking a piss, not into the toilet though, into the one working sink that we had. I go to stop him, and he does what I can't even get through this shit, dude. He does what any average human would do and pisses directly on my boots.
Well, it makes sense then.
Then he falls over, throws up, and starts to choke on his own throw up. And ever the Samaritan eye reach into his mouth and extract the chunks blocking his airway. So there I am, pissed off, and in the bathroom, the Marine face down in a pool of his own bile. I just sit down and take a long pull from the bottle and prop my feet up, and prop my feet up on said Marine's hips after shifting him onto his side. I deem him safer in here than in the squad bay with everyone else, and walk up to find daddy issues with one hand zip-tied to the rack and dragging it along as he shambles after the other Marines. So basically they zip-tied him into a bed so he wouldn't
Try to
calm him down, so he wouldn't fuck them all up. Well, in strolls Stickbreaker, naked, crying his eyes out, and sees daddy issues trying to get at the Marines and screams, "Hi-ho Silver," at the top of his lungs and runs right at him. Daddy issues face connects with the floor with a sharp crack, and he starts snoring instantly. We secure his other arm to the rack, and we go about to do his legs as he wakes up and starts biting at us like he's the rage virus,
What the fuck?
and knees me in the face. Bad night for my face. We end up choking him out, and he passes out again, this time for good. We tie down his legs and torso so he can't move at all. Me and one of my other close friends are surveying the damage and wondering just how in the name of Jon Bobby, if you don't know who that is, look him up, himself, are we going to clean up this shit? We walk out of the barracks to smoke, and we see that damn stick. He's a hardcore Catholic and fully believes in the rite of exorcism, and he's convinced that the stick was broken and that old lady cursed us and that we needed to break this charm somehow. He runs back into the barracks, grabs about 10 other Marines. Then we gathered up all the salt packets that we could find and created a salt ring around it to contain El Diablo, as he kept calling it. We stand in a circle to imitate, trying to imitate broken Latin as we pour hand sanitizer all over the stick and we burn it to ashes. We're out there barking at the moon like a bunch of wild men in celebration of our victory over the forces of darkness. The next day, we wake up, we scrub the place down, getting all the blood, sweat, and tears out of every nook and cranny. Our lieutenant walks in right as we're done. Stickbreaker apologizes profusely for breaking the stick and vows to never drink again so long as he lives. That last 7 hours.
Yep.
Somehow we got away with all the craziness that happened, and that night, all the craziness that happened in that night, and I'll never know how. Moral of the story, if you find a stick and a note, follow the damn directions.
That's a good lesson. It's a good lesson because, I know it's the movies, but...
Is it? The movies are based on something.
That's true. Probably only real life.
I've seen a lot of fucking Japanese horror films that start...
With sticks?
Eerily similar into something very benign.
Yeah, it's like an old lady who needs help.
Take this stick, and you don't choose to do it, but she's really a demon.
Yeah. Should have helped her.
Mm-hmm. And now you're fucked.
Yeah. The fucked up thing about those movies is, like, sometimes it really, like, the main character really can't help them.
It's inconvenient. Yeah. It's like, I'm running late. I have a meeting. I really can't help you.
I really can't do it. And they're not being an asshole. And now they get got by a demon.
Yeah. They got.
That's rude by the demon,
yeah.
if you ask me.
Do you know that there is a ton of fucking, like, the demon culture in Japan? Very, huge. Demons everywhere. Fucking craziness. Okinawa, man, when I lived there.
They have some really good horror movies.
They do.
Yeah, in Japan.
It's a weird, like quiet culture about horror and evil. Like,
yeah, it's really, really big.
Yeah. Dude, it was haunted as fuck all over Okinawa when I was there. Shit, just crazy shit everywhere. Creepiness, man.
Creeps?
Yeah.
That was a good story.
That was a good one.
That was a long one, but it did, like...
It kept you going. Like,
it kept you going, and it really was just, like, a perfect depiction of life inside a military barracks.
Everything that happened could be its own story and happens frequently on military bases when you're shit-faced with nothing else to do.
Yep.
Like, I've known several people that have gone through windows by mistake before. I know people that have been kicked out of E-clubs before. I know people that have thrown shit at other people and been in fights in the middle of the street.
Naked in the showers before.
Yeah. They weren't naked. They were doing physical training.
I'm pretty sure they were naked.
Yeah, they were naked, but they were doing PT.
Sorry, I danced.
They weren't dancing.
Dance is PT.
Yeah. Interpretive dance is PT. That's an Air Force PT.
Exactly. You want to... Should we do some mail call?
Dude, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's good. We can do a whole podcast on that story, breaking it down.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
That was a
If you're out there listening, you know who you are. I want some mail calls.
Please.
And I want first edition of your book.
I actually might even want you to come on the show.
Yeah.
All right, so mail call. This one comes in from Anonymous. He titles it, or she titles it. Sorry. I know it can be both. First Impressions and Bubble Guts is the title.
Know where this is going.
In my junior year of ROTC, we held a squad competition at PT. During that same week, a new cadre member was set to arrive. In preparation for such an event, I promptly downed 2 scoops of pre-workout.
Or put it on, maybe.
Yeah, he donned it. He just sprinkled it over his body. He downed 2 scoops of pre-workout and headed to first formation. Surprise, it was a piss test. I sat in the holding area, downing water and shooting the shit with other cadets, waiting for the urge to pee so I could finally be released and go back to bed. All of a sudden, I felt my stomach drop. I was going to shit my pants. As the stall door was being held open by our new master sergeant, I proceeded to have the most explosive diarrhea in my life. Nothing like a grown-ass man watching you pee in a cup as you take a shit. A buddy of mine at the urinals directly across from me began laughing so hard that he managed to piss all over his cup and down the front of his shorts. To make matters worse, the master sergeant had left the bathroom door open and the entire holding area had heard what happened. I left the bathroom to applause. So much for first impressions.
That's good.
That's a good story.
Do you, I know you're an athlete and you're, a physical specimen.
Yeah, I'm peak performance right now.
Do you remember...
Why's that funny?
I'm sorry, go on. Why are you laughing back there?
Not funny.
Do you remember taking did you take the original No Explode?
Oh, yeah.
The BSN product?
Yes.
That you got the tingles, right? You're like, this,
Yeah.
it's working. But then all of a sudden you're like, dude, I have to shit.
Yeah.
And it was the most, I can only imagine that he or she did the...
I'm assuming it was
I'm assuming,
because his
'cause, yeah.
body was across the urinal.
Yeah. But double dose, right? Oh, dude. Those shits were fucking, those No Explode shits were...
Explosive?
Yeah, but it was like the demon's been released.
The demons were released, yeah. No, those... is any type of bubble guts shits
Good?
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 Bubble guts?
Good? No.
No, it's not good.
No, they're not good.
I mean, it feels good, but
Yeah.
it's not good.
Maybe one of the best feelings in the world.
But it's not good
it's not
at all. Mm-mm. No, you gotta
No,
shower
sir.
after that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a one of those shits that you do have to shower. You're like,
yeah.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I'm actually gonna take a shower. I'm just gonna go back to
Like,
bed.
sure, this is a public restroom. Like, no, I'm gonna shower.
Just sitting there ass naked,
Don't mind me.
rinsing your shit out in the sink.
Which is why Europeans invented the bidet. They have that little fucking thing right there for those moments.
That's true. That's true. I still shower though.
Well, yeah, I like showers.
I like to be clean.
Yeah.
I like to be clean.
Probably
That's
not.
it, man.
That was a good one.
Ending the show on a shitty note. Well, thanks for listening, if you still are. And as always, thank you to Big Dick Nick and the Wilco Media team.
Who was so fed up with us, he had to leave during the episode.
did, he left.
I can't take this.
He left. I think he prayed twice and then came back.
Yep.
And don't forget to tune into the podcast. Thursdays at noon.
Don't forget to tune into the podcast that you're tuned into right now.
Yeah, but we're on at noon.
Yeah.
YouTube live.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Those 4 things.
You can find us, like I said, Thursdays at noon on our YouTube page, Wilco Media. Or you can subscribe, like, and share the podcast anywhere you listen to it, really. And that's it, man. That's all I got. Oh, stories.
Send them in.
Would you like to submit a bubble gut story?
Have you taken 2 scoops of fucking pre-workout and then got sent in for a piss test?
Have you diarrhea shit right in front of a master sergeant's face? Send it on in.
All right, listen, I do have a funny story about a master sergeant and a guy peeing. Okay.
Well, when did you send it in?
Yeah, I'm going to send that in. Maybe we'll just save it. It's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great fucking story.
We'll tune in next week.
Yeah, tune in next week.
For a good shit story?
Piss story.
Piss story.
Great story.
Well, it sounds like this guy was peeing out of his butt. Is that the same thing?
This guy was peeing and got woken up by a really big angry guy.
All right. Well, if you want to submit your stories of all that shit, you can do it at wilcomediapro.com/BTB podcast. And then you can submit it right there. Other than that, man, that is it for us. And we'll see you next week.
Have a great week. And don't you go dying on me.
Why would you say that?
Haven't you... Dumb and Dumber?
I mean, I've seen it.
No, okay. No.
It's just a weird thing to say. That's all.
Well, don't.